Hey everyone, how's it going? Matt Jarbo here, $3 Theater, and those are the words, the sounds that I've been making for the last 30 minutes watching Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian, the Heiress. Now, coming off of the first two episodes, I was not too sure where this week was going to take it. Were we going to get another somewhat filler episode that we got last week? Was it going to be something that was as amazing as the premiere episode of this season? I wasn't too sure. However, look, this show has the ability to continuously, and I mean this like legitimately, it has the ability to continuously surprise, impress, and amaze me all at the same time. And this episode, quite frankly, is no different. Now, we are going to talk about some spoilers, so there is that. What I really, really, really loved about this episode is that it functionally moved the needle forward. Not one space, not two spaces. We're talking all the spaces. This was the episode that fans have been waiting for, specifically if you were paying attention to the season 1 finale, to chapter 8. When you saw chapter 8 and you see Death Watch and then you see the dark saber, you know specifically the lore that goes along with that. Considering Dave Filoni's involvement and the Clone Wars and all that jazz, my God, it was an amazing thing. And the coolest thing about it too is that it was just a little under a year ago. And from there, being on Disney Plus, a whole bunch of new Star Wars fans got to check out the Clone Wars. And from there, we got the series finale of the show. And I think a lot of people really, really fell in love with it. And I think what we got tonight only amplified the love and only amplified the whole reason why Dave Filoni needs to be in charge of Star Wars. Him and Favreau need to lead the charge. Tonight's episode, Chapter 11, quintessential Star Wars with, I'm not going to lie, guys, probably the unlikeliest director to do it. And I say that because this was a Bryce Dallas Howard episode. Her episode that she did in season 1 was Chapter 4. The chapter where they were on like the forest planet taking on the walker and those pirate dogs or whatever. It was a good episode. It was a good episode, but it fell a little flat at certain points, but it was still a good episode, and it was what it was. Chapter 4 is a good episode. Oh my God, Chapter 11, it raised the bar for what she could do. So for one, the effects this time around feel just like immensely better, even though there were some flubs in the CG I could notice. I think there was like one actor in a costume that they just kept like having him change clothes and then walk around the set, which is probably the coolest thing about the volume, is that they're able to do that sort of thing. And what you also had was, again, just the complete tie into the Clone Wars, which I'll talk about. Sorry, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here because it was so cool. Mando trying to find other Mandalorians, charts a ship to unknown areas. He's out there. They try to kill him. I mean, when they knocked Baby Yoda into whatever that creature was, his mouth, my jaw dropped. And like you see him just like close the top of the carrier and just like go underwater. And then Mando dives in and you're like, oh, he is in over his head. How is he going to get out of this? Oh my God, what is going to happen? Like, there's no way they're going to let Baby Yoda die. However, I did find it to be an interesting parallel to last week's episode, which caught a lot of flack from Baby Yoda eating all the eggs, right? And so he ate all the eggs, and everyone lost their mind last week. Like, oh, it's baby genocidal Hitler. I heard a lot of that going around. But this time around, he almost was eaten. And the carrier that he's in is shaped like an egg. So there's a bit of juxtaposition on that I thought was fascinating. But I still was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, what's going to happen to Baby Yoda? I have like literally no idea. But then, oh my God, I legitimately made squee noises when the blue armored Mandalorians dropped, and I immediately recognized Bo-Katan's helmet. And I'm like, no fucking way. Like, I had heard that Katie Sackhoff was going to pop up in an episode. I had heard the rumors that she was going to be Bo-Katan because she voiced her in the show. Like, they brought her in, and then it wasn't even like they hit it. It wasn't even like it was some big reveal. It was like, she's like, I'm Bo-Katan. And they, and then, but what was so fascinating about that was we got lore. We got lore ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of lore just off that exchange because we found out that Mando was raised by zealots. He was raised by Death Watch, by the remnants of Death Watch. That's what it was, the watch, right? This is the way the armorer never take off the helmet. Pre-Vizsla, or Paz Vizsla, sorry, from chapter 3. Paz Vizsla, the son of Pre-Vizsla, who was the leader of Death Watch. So it's like the religious zealot. And of course, Bo-Katan was at some point one of those type of people, and then she moved away from that, hence why they're taking off their helmets, which was awesome. But you just get a little bit of that lore. Like, Mando is so strict about his armor. He's so strict about the helmet because that was the religious upbringing that he was taught. This is the way. And it was excellent how that little exchange just opened up the whole process, the whole ideology, the dueling religions, the dueling faiths, the dueling everything. What we already knew about from the show, but it gives us just so much more because we know, if you've seen Clone Wars, basically the kind of religious zealotry that Mando grew up in. We get an idea for it, which is why he's so stringent against the helmet, which is why now they're also setting up him taking off his helmet more often, because he will eventually turn against the creed. He will eventually turn against the armorer. He will eventually turn against the Culvern and join the remnants of Death Watch, join Bo-Katan. That's going to happen, I guarantee it. Pedro Pascal wants more time in the sun with his helmet off. He's going to get it season 3, which they also just confirmed is coming in 2021. They're going to start filming it before the end of the year too, which is awesome. So anyway, from there, they decide they want to take out this Imperial transport ship that's been, it's got Mandalorian weaponry, or Beskar that they've been using to make weaponry. And that was pretty cool too, because Titus Welliver, who I'm a big fan of from Sons of Anarchy, as well as a litany of other things he's been in over the years, was the Imperial commander on the ship. And what was awesome about this was, like, it was intense. The whole action scene was intense. When they're running through the corridors, taking on multiple stormtroopers, blowing them up, Mando, using his Beskar armor as an absolute, like, shield. I mean, it was a risky move to do what he did, but they were covering him. You see, like, the Predator mode where you can see, like, their visor vision was fucking amazing. Like, it was all so cool. It was so freaking cool. And just, like, oh, man, it was so great. But what I loved about it, though, was the side mission on that one. Bo-Katan had a plan. Bo-Katan wants Moff Gideon. She wants back the Darksaber. Now, again, if you aren't familiar with Clone Wars, that whole scene was probably lost on you. But if you are familiar with Clone Wars, especially Rebels, you know that it's important. So in the meantime, between Rebels and now, which is, it's a number of years, we don't have a definitive timeline, at least off the top of my head. But now there is absolutely, like, a time when she's going to lose it. And I think we're going to see it in a flashback, if you want my honest opinion. But what was awesome about that was Gideon knows. Gideon knows who they are. Gideon knows what they want, and he'll be waiting. Because, of course, this is Giancarlo Esposito, baby. He's like the Gus Fring of Sprace in this movie, and I'm down with that one. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this. But what I thought was really awesome, and again, what I loved about just the concept of the episode, was that they said, go to this planet, go and find Ahsoka Tano, tell her Bo-Katan sent you. Not even like, go find this Jedi and we're going to make it a reveal. Not any one of those types of tropes that we're used to. It was just, go here and here's who you want to talk to. That name may seem unfamiliar to you, but if you are a Clone Wars fan or a Rebels fan or just a Star Wars fan in general, you lost your shit when she said Ahsoka Tano. If you weren't already losing your poop from just the insane awesomeness that was the episode in general. And then from there, Mando takes off, gets the child, who, again, going back to the parallels, right? The eggs were fertilized and the little baby was born, and he was playing with the baby and he wanted it as a pet, not to eat it. He wanted a care of it, which I think shows you that he learned something from being in the belly of that sea creature. Again, little character growth for the child, little character growth for Baby Yoda. And I'm looking forward to the Funko Pops and other accessories that come with the season 2 child doll, which I probably will be buying because of my girlfriend at this point now wants to have like 20 of them. but I was really impressed with the episode. Graphically, it had a few issues here and there. It was shorter than the other two episodes by a bit, but it was tight. It was tight. It was insane. It was great. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. If you saw it, I want to hear your thoughts on this one. We're in for a wild ride for the remaining 5 episodes. And I mean, it's going to be insane. Star Wars fans I think are at this point just going like, I'm home. I'm coming home. And it feels good. It feels good to be a Star Wars fan. I can't see any person who claims that they're a Star Wars fan walk away from this episode and go, it stinks. Not one of them. You're not I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. You're not a true Star Wars fan if you walk away from this episode and you're not 100%, 1,000 times impressed. But anyway, I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know down in the comment section. If you made it this far, do me a favor, type Mando in the chat. So I know I'm not on camera. It's just late and I'm tired and I don't really feel like turning my whole gear on. So it is that. But anyway, I got to go watch this episode again before going to bed. Oh man. All right. Your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell, and peace out.